All right, let's dive right into this explainer. If you've been watching the industrial and engineering space closely this year, you already know that 2026 is shaping up to be an absolute defining moment for manufacturing scale. Today, we're going to unpack three distinct news items that recently dropped across Elon Musk's ecosystem. Now, on the surface, they might just look like isolated updates about a tunnel borer, a compact car, and a giant rocket. But when you put the pieces together, they actually reveal a unified masterclass in completely redefining the physics and economics of manufacturing. We're talking about systematically breaking the bottlenecks of scale.
To really wrap our heads around this, we're going to look at the bottleneck to breakthrough framework. Today we'll be covering the 2026 engineering leap, tunnels without the pit, unboxing the $25,000 Tesla, Starship V3 takes flight, and finally, redefining the speed of scale. We're basically going to start deep underground, move up to the surface streets, and then launch straight into orbit. Let's get into it.
Section 1. Tunnels without the pit, eliminating the excavation bottleneck. Let's start with Act 1. Deep underground, where the Boring Company just solved a massive logistical nightmare that has literally plagued the tunneling industry for decades.
So traditional tunneling actually has a pretty dirty secret. Before a machine can drill a single inch of rock, crews have to spend weeks, sometimes even months, excavating this massive launch pit just to lower the machine into the earth at the right angle. You're talking heavy equipment, tons of concrete, and massive land destruction. It's a huge headache. But the Boring Company's new ProofRock 3 launch system, officially nicknamed the Monster, completely skips all of that. It uses this brilliant tilting cradle mechanism that simply angles the borer downward, letting it bite directly into the surface of a normal parking lot. No pit, no giant shaft, no weeks of groundwork.
And here is the absolute game changer: 24 hours. By ditching the launch pit entirely, ProofRock 3 can go from rolling up to a brand new site to actively tunneling underground in a single day. In infrastructure terms, going from a weeks-long site prep to a same-day launch isn't just a minor improvement, it is a total category shift. It means mobilization costs absolutely plummet, and you can run multiple machines across different sites without waiting around for pit construction.
Now, what makes these crazy speeds even possible? It all comes down to the operational philosophy. ProofRock 3 uses continuous mining, which means it installs the tunnel liner at the exact same time it excavates, so no more stop and start cycles. This is paired with ZPIT, or Zero People in Tunnel Operations. It's fully automated. That means you're slashing human safety risks and all that massive logistical overhead. And we're already seeing this in action. At Tesla's Giga Texas, they use this exact tech to build the Cybertunnel. This underground passage shuttles finished Cybertrucks straight from the factory floor in just 60 seconds flat, completely bypassing what used to be a 12-minute surface drive. That kind of speed compounds directly into factory throughput.
Looking at the hard numbers, you can really see how this rapid iteration creates a fundamentally different competitive edge. With an all-in cost of less than $8 million per mile and current speeds topping 1 mile per week, underground transit suddenly becomes incredibly economical at scale. And they aren't stopping there. The engineering trajectory is pointing straight up as they pave the way for the next generation ProofRock 4. Get this, it weighs 797,000 pounds and targets a staggering 4.7 million pounds of thrust. That strongly suggests they're gearing up for significantly larger diameter tunnels. Think freight or broader public transit networks.
Moving right along to Section 2, unboxing the $25,000 Tesla, Project Redwood, and the end of linear assembly. Let's head back up to the surface and see how this whole theme of deleting industrial friction applies to Tesla's 2026 strategy with Project Redwood. This is a car that fundamentally reimagines automotive manufacturing to combat market saturation and some incredibly aggressive Chinese competitors.
So for nearly a decade, a truly affordable Tesla has been the holy grail of the EV industry, right? But with the Model 3 and Model Y absolutely dominating the premium space, Tesla eventually hit a saturation point. They knew they couldn't just slash prices to reach that next demographic of urban commuters. To actually have the cost of an EV, they had to go back to the drawing board and reinvent the very physics of how a car is put together.
Well, it all comes down to this number, $25,000. In early 2026, this elusive price point finally becomes a physical reality through Project Redwood. And make no mistake, this isn't just a cheaper car, it's the strategic foundation meant to reclaim volume leadership. Crucially, it also provides the exact architectural skeleton they need for the upcoming automated cybercab.
To actually hit that $25,000 mark, Tesla had to take Henry Ford's century-old rulebook and chuck it right out the window.
Traditional linear assembly relies on a stamped metal shell slowly crawling down a mile-long track while workers painstakingly stuff parts inside it. It's incredibly inefficient. Tesla's new unboxed process, on the other hand, it's basically like snapping together a giant Lego set. The vehicle is broken down into 6 distinct modules that are built entirely in parallel. This gives workers and robots full 360-degree access to all the components long before they're ever joined together. Okay, let's actually walk through how this works. First off, they use this brilliant outside-in approach. Instead of trying to squeeze seats through a door frame, the seats, center console, and dash are bolted directly onto the structural battery pack before the car body even exists. Because the front, rear, and underbody sections are all being built at the exact same time, they drastically reduce the biggest bottleneck in any car factory, the paint shop. By painting only the necessary exterior panels, they shrink their paint shop footprint by a whopping 40%. Plus, by carrying over the Cybertruck's 48-volt architecture, they slash the weight and complexity of the wiring harness by over 70%, which opens the door for some seriously heavy robotic automation.
Visually, you can think of Redwood as a compact crossover. Internally, they often call it a mini-Y. It uses a comeback rear design, meaning the roof slopes downward and then just abruptly cuts off vertically. This specific aesthetic, combined with a lightweight chassis, gives it a drag coefficient below 0.21. That makes the vehicle remarkably efficient as it cuts through the air.
And if you look at the specs, it proves that cost-cutting doesn't mean gutting the tech. It packs a 53 kilowatt-hour lithium iron phosphate battery, giving it a very solid 250 miles of EPA estimated range. But more importantly, it comes standard with Hardware 5, meaning it is fully ready for full self-driving right out of the gate. Strategically, Tesla is launching this heavy in Europe out of Giga Berlin. By manufacturing the car and sourcing those 4680 battery cells locally in Germany, they completely bypass the 10% EU import tariff on Chinese-made vehicles. It's a brilliant move that proves they can dominate the low-end market while still fiercely protecting their profit margins.
All right, Section 3, Starship V3 takes flight, breaking the orbital payload limit. Finally, let's look up to the sky for Act 3. Here we see SpaceX poised to absolutely shatter the ultimate logistical bottleneck, the strict limit of payload capacity to orbit, all thanks to their massive Starship program.
Mark your calendars for July 16, 2026. Launching from Starbase, Texas, we have the highly anticipated Flight 13. And let me tell you, this isn't just another routine test flight. It's the second launch of the massive version 3 configuration, specifically testing Super Heavy Booster 20 and Starship Ship 40. The whole focus here is rapid iteration and pushing the hardware way past its previous breaking points.
If we look back at the data from the previous test, Flight 12, SpaceX definitely ran into some very specific hurdles. Tiny differences in engine startup timing caused the Super Heavy booster's directional flip to be off by about 90 degrees. After that, 5 of its 33 engines actually failed to relight for the boost back burn. Meanwhile, up on the upper stage, they lost one Raptor vacuum engine. So to fix this, engineers have heavily modified the startup sequences to be incredibly robust against that timing variability. They've also rolled out major hardware and propulsion fixes to guarantee those engines relight reliably in the chaotic, multi-engine environment of flight.
The timeline for Flight 13 is super rigorous, demanding that Starship survive even higher dynamic pressures on ascent just to prove it can handle these massive new payloads. We're looking at hot staging separation just over 2 minutes in, followed closely by a critical payload deployment demo. Then, roughly 39 minutes into the flight, they're going to attempt that highly anticipated in-space Raptor engine relight demo before ultimately aiming for a controlled splashdown in the Indian Ocean. Now, this is where SpaceX's whole multitasking ethos really shines. During this flight, they aren't just testing a rocket. They're actually deploying 20 next-generation Starlink V3 satellites equipped to connect via high-capacity lasers. But here is the truly fascinating part. 6 of those satellites are specially equipped with cameras to actively scan Starship's heat shield as they deploy. Think of them like orbital selfie cams. SpaceX actually painted several heat shield tiles white to simulate missing sections just to act as high-contrast imaging targets for those cameras. On top of that, they're testing brand-new load-sensing tiles and metallic aft flap attachments in real-time spaceflight to perfect their rapidly reusable design. Which brings us to our final section, redefining the speed of scale, the 2026 engineering leap. So what you should really take away from this explainer is how these 3 completely distinct engineering marvels, underground, on the surface, and out in space, are actually deeply, deeply interconnected.
Whether we're talking about the boring company figuring out how to ditch the physical dirt pit so they can launch a machine in 24 hours, or Tesla completely scrapping a century-old linear assembly line for parallel unboxed modules, or SpaceX rapidly iterating heat shields to wipe out orbital payload limits, the underlying goal is exactly the same across the board. They're systematically deleting industrial friction.
And that leaves us with a truly fascinating reality to ponder. We aren't just sitting around watching cool gadgets or vehicles get built anymore. As the friction of manufacturing approaches zero, we are witnessing the complete reprogramming of how humanity achieves hyperscale. When you can build underground infrastructure, affordable mass transit, and massive orbital pathways at this kind of speed and cost, what does that actually mean for the world we are building for the next decade? It is an absolutely incredible time to be watching this space.